Hey guys, it's Evan the Cat King here with another video. Today we are doing another kind of similar video to our previous video, as one of our previous videos, that being the ranking every total drama character based on challenges. Well, this time I think this is a bit of a follow-up to that, not based on challenges, because the Ridonculous race is a completely different thing entirely. No challenges. I mean, there are challenges, but there aren't. But it's everybody like wins basically. So I thought I could do a follow up based on how well that video is doing. I thought, you know what? I wonder how if I could figure out a way to rank the Ridonculous race teams. And I thought setting up a little point system made the most sense in my opinion. I made a little I made a little point system where teams get points based on certain things and get a certain amount of points per leg based on their placement. If they like rose in placement compared to last leg, it's just a whole thing. And I'm not going to explain everything with the point system right now, because let's face it, I think you guys just want me to get into the ranking. But I will leave the point system in the description down below if you guys are interested in seeing, if you guys want to know how I set up the point system. So let's jump right in and get to the ranking. Coming in at last place is the Rockers. Based on the point system, they ended up coming in last with negative 15 points. You can lose points in this. It isn't only points can be gained. Points can be lost, similar to the whole like war sort of thing. You can have a negative total. Of course, this isn't like based on averages. This is just straight up how many, like how how did they this is taking it leg by leg, and Rock and Spud ended up being in like the bottom group of things so many times, and they were constantly just below average. I'm pretty sure they were probably the team that was in the bottom two the most out of any other team, and it really shows, as they just couldn't get any like a lot of momentum. There were a lot of points where they were just losing lots of points. Okay, so I have it here also. They competed in 13 legs, and their best leg was leg 10, where they gained 10.5 points. But leg 11, right afterwards, they dropped to their lowest point score of negative 7 in leg 11. Rock and Spud did a very... They made it pretty far, but they were always in the bottom group, and that just completely killed their score. The rest of these won't take as long as Rock and Spud, because I feel like I just needed to kind of explain more how they ended up down there, based on like they did make it a lot further. But most of the lower scores are from teams that didn't make it that far. For instance, number 17, the Vegans, with negative 12 points. Highest leg of leg 3 getting 1.5 points. That was their best score. And leg 4 being their worst, having negative 7 points. And then competing in 5 legs, they were another team that just were very low very often. In at number 16 is the tennis rivals, Pete and Jerry. These two, they were the second team eliminated, and that it makes sense that they didn't end up making it very far and very high on the point scale. They ended up with 8.5 points, with their highest leg being leg 1 and their lowest leg being leg 2 with negative 11.5. I was surprised to see that they actually came in like 4th in the first leg, but leg 2 just completely killed them. Oh yeah, one thing is that there is, if you're confused by this one, like, oh, they get a certain amount of points depending on how many legs they competed in. It's 0.5, they end up getting 0.5 points per leg they competed in. So they ended up gaining an extra point just for competing in 2 legs. So yeah, they are number 16. Just like in the race, the geniuses Elodie and Mary follow right behind the tennis rivals, as they are number 15 in the ranking with -6 points. Their best leg was leg 1, where they ended up getting a singular point, and then their lowest was leg 3, where they lost. They got -8.5 points, and they competed in 3 legs. So that is the Geniuses. Not much to say on the Geniuses. They were just kind of there. Coming in at number 14 is Mother and Daughter, Kelly and Taylor, with -5 points. Leg 5 was their best, gaining a total of 8 points. A very high point score for leg 8, leg 5. But leg 7, they ended up getting -6.5 points. And they competed in 8 legs. And yeah, Mother and Daughter, no surprise that these guys ended up being very low. They were not very good at working as a team. In at number 13 is the team that came in last place. So technically, these two should technically be in last place, but only competing in one leg and getting last place. It could just come down to unluckiness. Certain teams just do horribly throughout the whole entire game. Meanwhile, these two, they compete in one leg and get last place. It's similar to how in the rankings of the challenges, if you watch them, people like Ezekiel, who was eliminated first in 2 seasons, still ended up higher than others because, well, they competed in more challenges and lost more challenges. So these two ended up with a total score of -4.5 points, with -5 points in their only leg being leg 1. Next, we have the first positive point total, with number 12, the Adversity Twins, Jay and Mickey, with a total of 1 point. Leg 8 being their best with 6 points. Leg 10, their elimination, being -6.5. Competing in a total of 10 legs. They managed to kind of just be relatively average, which was very good for them. Like, they had, like, a just stretch of getting 12th place, which in the point system kind of just gave them nothing. So they ended up just, like, not actually gaining many points in any of the rounds. Number 11 is the Fashion Bloggers. They ended up with 2 points, beating out the Twins by 1 point totally in total. Leg 4 got 4.5. That is their highest. Leg 6, -7.5. Competed in a total of 6 legs. Pretty decent for the Fashion Bloggers. I feel like we have finally ran out of, like, low placing teams. So now in at number 10 is the Reality TV Pros, Noah and Owen. Ended up with a total of 4.5 points. They did not do very well crossing over from Total Drama into Ridonculous Race. Their best was leg 3, where they got 10 points, with their worst being leg 2, where they got -8 points. And then they competed in 17 legs total. They may have lost to Owen and Noah in the race, but they beat him on this ranking. Number 9 is Father and Son, Junior and Dwayne, who got 5.5 points, with their best being leg 2, where they got 8, and their lowest being leg 15, their elimination, where they got -6, with competing in a total of 15 legs. Now we have, in my opinion, a surprisingly high team of the Step Brothers, coming in the top 8 in 8th place. Top half of things, especially they did very well, especially speaking that they were kind of fighting throughout most of the entire season, but they ended up getting a total of 8.5 points. Their worst leg was their elimination, where they got -9.5 points, but leg 2 and 12 both, it was their best at 5.5 points each, and they competed in a total of 13 legs. Coming in at number 7 is the best friends, Devin and Carrie. These two ended up with a total of 9.5 points. They were kind of similar to the Rockers in the fact that they ended up being quite low quite a few times, but they also ended up getting very high points throughout the season. Leg 7 was their highest with 7 points total, and leg 3 and 8 tied for their worst at -8 points, and they competed in 23 legs. So they ended up still in the upper half of things, but definitely low, considering they were technically a top 4 team. I mean, top 5 because of the Surfers returning. But yeah, they ended up not the best team for how long they lasted. Now, we do have a major jump between number 7 and 6 in terms of points. Number 6 is the Goths Crimson and Ennui, with 16 total points, and with their best being leg 4 with 8.5 points, lowest being leg 6 with -9 points, competing in a total of 19 legs. They were a very strong team, especially there at the end. They were coming out on top quite a lot. So no surprise that they ended up quite high on this list. In at number 5 is one of the two teams that made it to the final two, that being the Police Cadets. The team that competed in the most legs, 26 legs, ended up with a total of 27 points. Legs 19 was their best, where they gained 6 points, and their worst leg was leg 12, where they lost 10. The Police Cadets, despite being in the most legs and making it to the end, being one of the teams that actually win the season, have their own winning ending, end up being not being in the top 3, which is surprising in my opinion. Number 4 is Emma and Kitty, the sisters, with 28 points, 1 point above the Cadets, after competing in 24 legs, with their best leg being leg 8 with 7 points. I think I put their better leg on the bottom instead of on top this time. But they had a tie for their worst leg of 14 and 23 with only -4.5 points. Not having any super terrible legs with these two. Number 3 and 2 are technically a tie, but I based off of who got higher based on how many legs were competed in, as well as best total leg or worst total leg. Anyway, number 3 is the haters or daters. Stephanie and Ryan, 29 points. Leg 9 was their best with 7 points, and leg 16 was their worst with -8. And another team that was fighting a lot, and yet they made it all the way to the top 3 on the list. In at number 2 is the Surfer Dudes, competing in 23 total legs. One of the teams that got a winning ending. I think that's the reason I will put them above the haters / daters. But they had their best leg at leg 7 with 8.5 points, and their worst leg at leg 3 with -9 points. The Surfer Dudes were very high in the ranking, despite didn't really expect them to be that strong of a team, but then again, they did end up coming out on top in quite a few of the races, coming first in over four or more. So it's not that surprising that they made it this high. And surprising literally nobody, number 1, the Ice Dancers, Jacques and Jose, with a total of 54.5 points, completely trampling every other team. Best leg was leg 13 at 9.5 points, with their worst being leg 11 at -8.5. They competed in 25 legs. They came in first way more times than any other team. We did factor in time penalties. They did lose points for time penalties, but they just completely destroyed everybody else in this list, almost doubling second place and just completely shattering every other team. No wonder they were the biggest threats, and constantly, despite the fact that everybody seemingly hated them, kept on coming back and winning, because they were just way better than every other team, it seems, based on this list. And yeah, they are number 1. There you go, that is the list, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, please subscribe, and comment down below anything that, I don't know, maybe you think I did a bad job. Like I said before, you can check out the point system in the description to see how I did things. If you think that it was unfair, then, well, you can let me know. But, either way, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!